One of my favorite things to do when I have free time is to lay on the ground or in a bed. That's actually probably the best way. And stare at clouds. Stare at the sky and just watch the clouds pass by. Now, it's interesting when you do that because what starts to happen is our mind starts to see images in the clouds. So we might say, that cloud kind of looks like a baseball bat, and that cloud kind of looks like a school bus. So there's a part of our mind that is always functioning that's trying to understand and categorize and process reality. The challenge with that part of our mind is that it uses our past experience to fill in those gaps. And that's a lot of why it seems like our life is repetitive. The same cycles happen over and over because if we're on autopilot, we will start to fill in the gaps of the ways that we've done things in the past. And if those didn't work, then we're going to have more of the same. So, one thing that can be helpful, learning from our experience of the way we project onto clouds, is to really understand what is it that is going on in my mind and how am I filling in the gaps? What are the stories that I'm telling myself when I don't have enough information to really understand the situation? It was interesting the other day because I was looking at a pet, like a rehab or like a rescue. That's what it was a rescue. And they had given about $30,000 towards the care of this dog who had been abandoned and needed a bunch of surgeries. It had some respiratory issues. And it was such a fascinating thing to look at because, from one view, here is this organization working miracles, saving lives, wonderful, really kind. There is kindness in this world. But it was quite fascinating to go through the comment section because it was a mixed bag, but many of the comments were like, those owners were horrible. They were just using the dog and just going on and on and on. And to me, it said a lot more about them than about other people. That when you have this experience where, yes, they're suffering, but there's also people overcoming and supporting, you choose to focus on the part that you actually don't know. So all we do know is that this dog got rescued and this company put $30,000 and it's getting better. The backstory we don't know. And it's interesting to watch your own mind to see how you fill in the backstory because there's a really good chance that it's not what's happening to you, but the way that you're filling in the gaps that keeps your pain and suffering continuing. And so you really would benefit from reconsidering, not projecting without thought, like noticing I'm doing it again. I'm doing the story again where everyone leaves me or I give more than everyone else and it's never fair. Whatever your story is, we have our own stories, but at some point we have to recognize that although this feels real, I'm creating this. And I don't want this life. Those stories that you have very specific outcomes, and they usually leave with you feeling unhappy and not having the connections that you want. So if you want to change it, you have to change your story. You have to change your projection into the clouds of life. This is all just an appearance to our mind that we're filling in. And it's really important to understand that because we are so powerful and we often don't understand that. And in that process, keep creating more pain for ourselves and for other people.